Hello, hello, welcome back. Today we are talking about time blocking, which is chapter 13 in the book Move Over Extroverts. And
Very good.
time blocking there's really two parts to it. First is actually doing it, putting in the time blocks in your calendar, deciding ahead of time where you're going to spend your time, how you're going to spend your time. And then the second part, which is arguably more difficult, is following the schedule and actually doing the time block. That's where I see a lot of agents struggle, and that's where I struggle sometimes as well because life happens and gets in the way. So I really want to open up the discussion for how everyone is doing with their time blocking, if there's any challenges, and kind of talk through some strategies for improving that skill. And I just let a couple other people into the room, so welcome. Welcome, welcome. We're talking all things time blocking today. So, to open up the conversation, how would you all rank yourselves in terms of following your schedule? If you had to say 1 through 10, how good are you at that? 1 is not at all, I don't follow schedule. 10 is I am perfect at this and I follow every single time block exactly. And then you're probably somewhere in between. So give yourself a ranking. If you'd like to share in the comments, you're welcome to. If you want to just keep it to yourself, you can do that as well.
I'd say I'm probably like a 6 or a 7. Like I do time block and I don't have everything on there. I'm trying to get better about putting everything on because otherwise I'm not really following if I don't have everything that I need on there. So I'm working on getting better at that and so that I can really see where I'm dedicating my time and what's more important than other things and whatnot.
Yeah. That's pretty good though. That's a pretty
Yeah.
high score.
hmm
So what areas do you think you could improve on? And is there anything we can do to help?
So I work full time for our market center as well as having my license. So I'm really good with my, 8:30 to 5 office work stuff.
Yeah.
It's the really plugging in my lead gen time and my business time, stuff that I do need to get better at.
So that has to be done on evenings and weekends, I would
Yes,
assume.
primarily, yes.
Yeah. That makes it tough for sure.
hmm Yeah, but it's doable. It can be done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there any part of it that you can do during the day?
My lunch break. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I can take my lunch break, and then because I'm working for the market center, I do have flexibility and whatnot. So, there is that. But I do try to like do business related stuff on my lunch break, and then, otherwise it's primarily evenings and weekends. But
Yeah.
I'm bad about putting it on my calendar. So I know I need to put like lead gen time or content time or whatever on my calendar so that I can actually focus in on it.
Right. What's getting in the way of not doing that?
I don't really know because I do it for the other stuff. So I just really need to just take the time and do it. There's really no excuse not to.
So what you're describing is super common, and it's the requirement of time blocking your time blocking.
Yeah, really, that's essentially it, Ashley. You're exactly right. I need to make a time block to time block for my business.
So
Yeah,
while we're on the call, if you want to, go ahead
yeah,
and make that time block now to
I
like,
will do that right now.
and maybe even make it a recurring thing. Once a week
Yeah,
is a
once a
good,
week to check in on it. That's a great idea. All right, it's on there. I'm gonna do that
awesome,
tomorrow night when I get home, and that way before my weekend kicks off, I'll know what I need to do.
beautiful.
Thank you for that push.
Of course. Thank you for sharing and being open to it. All right, excellent. Welcome everyone else who has joined us. We're talking time blocking. Who else wants to share? Something you're doing well, something you're struggling with in terms of either creating your schedule or following it. Those are two very different things, creating the schedule and following it. And they both have their challenges. Yeah, Paul.
Hey everyone. So, something that I have been doing
is I don't know if you can see this. I can hold it. Been making a weekly calendar,
I can kind of see it, but the auto background is making it kind of funky. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's good.
and so what I've been doing is I've been printing out the week, and I've been sitting on Sunday afternoons and looking at my week ahead. So I go to my phone and I pull out all the stuff that my appointments in there. And then what I started doing as a result of this practice, a couple of things which has been helpful is if I need to do something in a couple of weeks or next week or something like that, I can throw it into my calendar when I do my Sunday planning for the week. So
Mhm.
then when I'm looking at the week, I can take those things and then put them on a sheet of paper. And the sheet of paper I will look at during the week and capture things that I need to do. But it also helps me to have a better outlook than my regular calendar for some reason, my phone.
Mhm.
And then in working with this, I started breaking the day up into bigger chunks, like the morning and then the afternoon and the evening. And then I blocked out like potential appointment times for certain things
Mhm.
and also like when I'm going to work out and etc. So it just helps me to have a better relationship with what I'm supposed to be doing when. And that was a bit of a game changer a few months ago. So there, there's that.
That's great. So since it is on paper, how do you manage when things have to move around? Is it pencil and you just erase and change it?
So it's in ink. Um, if it's let's see, I'll just cross it out, I guess.
That
If
works.
I need to, yeah.
What I love about time blocking is how flexible it is, and everyone can create their own system that works. In theory, I do like paper. In practice, when I have tried paper calendars, I always end up abandoning it after a couple weeks and I go back to the Google just because I got used to it. Um, but I think that's really helpful for a lot of people who want that tactile visual, not on a screen.
I have to use both because
Yeah.
the phone's always moving.
Well, it's tough because a lot of our calendars are synced with other people's calendars and people are sending invites. And so it's really hard to be completely off the grid with that at this point. A few years ago, not so much, but now it's like everything is everything is tied to that Google Calendar. But so I can see the need for both for sure. But it sounds like you have it down to a science, and I love that you have Sunday planning time. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a time block that I think that has really made a big difference. I've just sort of dedicated Sundays to be the day of what could I do today to set this week up for greater success. So that's how that calendar came to be.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I like it. I've experimented with different time frames, which by the way is okay to do, and it's okay to change it, just so everyone knows. Like you don't, if you set up a system, it's okay to tweak it or throw it out completely and start over. That's okay. It's always constantly like iterating different things and finding the right thing. So, um, for me, I've started doing my weekly planning first thing Monday morning. And that way I'm just I'm in that headspace already. Sunday nights, I've found I am not in the planning work headspace usually. And I think it's because I'm going to blame football a little bit because during football season, I've gotten sucked into watching the games, usually at a restaurant slash bar. And so by the time I get home, I'm like, I'm tired and I ate greasy food and I probably had a cocktail and I'm like, I don't feel like planning. So first thing Monday morning, get up nice and fresh, and that's the first thing I do. But I know for a lot of people, especially if you have kids and your mornings are a little more crazy, Sunday night can be the perfect time. That's what I hear more commonly is Sunday night for people. So if you're listening to this and you haven't figured out what works for you, try both. Do like a month of one day, do a month of a different day, see what works better for you. And also loop in whoever you live with, because that will affect it too. All right, excellent. Who else wants to share or talk through anything that's working well, anything you're struggling with? I think we're doing pretty well with this, it sounds like. All right. Before we can wrap this up early, but let's see if there are any ahas from the first section of this book, because you know what? Today starts part two, and we finished up all of part one, which was energy management. So if anyone has been around for previous weeks and wants to share something you learned from the whole energy management section, that might be kind of fun to go over in our last few minutes here. Anything you've learned or have implemented?
So I really liked the section on the managing the mental load.
Mm,
That was and the boundary setting and whatnot. So I'm pretty good with the boundaries and sticking to them. So that's good, but it's always a good reminder of like just how important that is. You teach people how to treat you. So having those boundaries, you have them for a reason. So sticking to them is helpful.
yeah, thank you. And you're right, it is something that requires reminders, especially
Hmm.
as we build and refine and strengthen that habit. It's almost like a muscle.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you.
I'd say the recharge and draining lists, creating those and having greater awareness around those things so that I'm better aware of um, overall self care. Just like you said, let's stay away from the draining activities or people right before an important thing, such as a listing appointment. So just being a little more strategic and conscious. So
Subtle shifts that make a big difference. Thank you. All right, perfect. Anything else? Last questions, comments, anything like that? Let's see what we're doing next week. Next week, we're doing color coding. Should have known that without looking it up because that's the natural next step with this. You have your time blocks. So next week, we're going to talk about how to color code them, how many colors you should have, what should the colors be, or rather, what should they represent? I don't care what the actual colors are. You do you.
When can I buy the book?
Oh, you can buy it on Amazon. Let me put the link in the chat for you.
Sorry.
No, no, don't be sorry. That's a great question.
The other thing, Ashley, I liked in the time blocking was how you suggested blocking off white space and thinking space.
Yeah,
I hadn't really
I
like
don't know where.
given that consideration, but like, yeah, you do need that time, you know.
yeah, you do.
Okay.
Thank you for saying that because oh, Isabella just put the
Amazon.
link in the chat for you.
Okay,
So
thank you.
you're welcome. You have to have white space. We're not, because we're not robots. We need time to go for a little walk. We need time to use the restroom. We need time to eat something. We need time to just like breathe and process, even for a couple minutes. Don't forget driving time too. That got me in trouble when I first started learning how to time block, like 12 years ago. I would not include my driving time. And it wasn't good because then I would have to move everything around because I forgot, oh crap, I have to take an hour to go to this appointment and then an hour to drive back. So really, really think about, don't idealize this. Make it more realistic. It's not creating the perfect schedule, it's creating whatever schedule is going to actually function for your life. We always see like the perfect schedule. I hate that. It makes me crazy because it doesn't exist and it sets us up for failure. So each day, what are the handful of things? Like yesterday, I'll give you an example. There were two things I needed to get done yesterday. I needed to mail out my next batch of expired letters. I had already pulled the addresses the day before. So I had to mail them out and I had to finish this article for Housing Wire. So as soon as those two things were done, it was about 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock. And I happened to be in the office for that because they have a better printer. So as soon as those were done, I'm like, okay, bye, I'm out. Went home, watched a show because I got my important things done. Doesn't have to be a perfect calendar. That's not realistic. That actually is going to set you up for burnout. So lots of yummy white space, lots of drive time. I'm a fan of putting less on the calendar than you actually think you need. And then if you end up with extra time, then having kind of a rolling to-do list of things that you can plug into that extra time if you have the energy for it.
Yeah, I like that idea of like the rolling to-do list. Yeah. Like plug it in when you can.
Right. Exactly. Because some things are not time bound. It's just like, no, I should probably get this done at some point this week.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Beautiful. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating. Anything else? I'm always trying to find the balance between holding space and not taking up your time unnecessarily. All right, I think we're good. All
All right. Have a
right.
great weekend.
You too. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Hopefully,
Yeah.
everyone has great weather, and I will see you all next week.
All right. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.